Boom, we're live. So, hello everybody. I am Tito Bohrt. I am CEO at AltiSales, and we are on another cold calling training here with Andrew Kamegawa, if I
That's
said
right.
that
Of
right. Yep.
course, yeah, you pronounced it right. Good job. Yeah, hey, I'm Andrew, working at Persado. I'm a SDR, of course, and I'm being trained by Tito, yours truly. So,
Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. So,
will be.
this time, differently from some of the other cold recording trainings that I've done, we're starting 100% from scratch. So, this will be a little bit of a longer video. Yet, I want everybody to see exactly how the interaction goes. So, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much. So,
Cool. So, for the audience and for you as well, purposely, I decided not to do any research on you, and the reason for that is I want this to be 100% cold call with no, um, you know, understanding from my end of what you're gonna try to sell me. The only thing I need to understand for this training to be useful actually is to know who am I gonna play the role of, right? Who are you calling? Who's your target audience? So don't tell me anything about your product yet, but
sure.
who's your ideal customer profile, type of company, right? And then your buyer persona, like the title that you're looking for.
Okay, yeah. Let's say that your company is so. Okay, so
You can tell me a company name if you want to, or a
sure.
type. Like, am I a tech company? Am I a real estate company? Am I a
You're gonna be
restaurant?
you're gonna be an e-commerce retail company, a company called
Okay.
Mack Weldon. I did an example on it a few days ago. Mack Weldon is a company that sells primarily underwear and socks for men, um, primarily
Okay.
e-commerce. So they did some Black Friday, some Cyber Monday today,
Okay.
and you will be the director of digital and e-commerce. So you're going to be handling anything from website related, uh, communicating with your marketing managers, communicating with your content creators, your copywriters, everything to just really get your product from warehouse to home through the internet, through the web.
Okay. Cool. So my primary responsibilities are figuring out anything website related. That's everything from traffic to clicks to cart abandonment to whatever else.
Conversions,
Conversions all
yeah,
over my website, and
customer
then
experience on the website. So
customer experience, right? Where are people having trouble understanding what they need to do? All the way to fulfillment, you're saying? No, only the purchasing side, only until they click purchase, enter their credit card details, done.
yes, yes, but also
Okay.
you're collecting a lot of emails through this website, so it's definitely something important to think about when you're actually considering what you're, I guess, sort of what you're judged upon, your metrics for your position. So
Okay.
you
So
want
I
to
need
be
I need to collect leads, right? So we're
you
trying
need
to
to collect.
grow our list of potential customers, so then we can do retargeting,
Mhm.
and we can do whatever other. Okay,
And
cool. I
ultimately
have
increase
a
conversions. So on the website.
right. I think I have a little bit of a better understanding here. I've done another training where I was like a director of real estate for a restaurant chain, and I was so confused by what I needed to do there. But I think this will be more in my realm of possibilities.
Mhm.
So
And,
this is cool.
and what I've learned is also you'll have some knowledge of some of the email side because you are strategizing with your email marketing team as well because you guys closely work together. In any good company, you guys would be working somewhat closely with each other.
Okay, so email. What are my options for things we could be doing with email? What are the things that you hear often from the market?
So you would obviously have your segments. So you would be communicating, okay, who on the website has purchased something recently, who has been browsing, who just opted in for a newsletter. So you would be communicating on how you would position this. And also you'd be talking to your merchandisers on what products you'd be sending through this promotional email campaign, stuff like that.
Okay.
That makes sense. You're kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
looking.
So I can see what people are coming to my site because they have cookies on their
Exactly.
site, and
Mhm.
then I can come back and kind of like track their usage, and then I can, with that data, kind of decide what marketing campaigns I'm going to throw at them. Okay. Well, I think this gives me like enough understanding at least to hopefully have a good conversation as a prospect. So Let's try it out. Let's hop on a cold call. I'm purposely gonna move away from the camera. Of course, when you're cold calling, you're not, facing each other.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna move away, and yeah, and the phone will ring. And I am an e-commerce company, and my role is VP of Digital, right?
Yes,
So
VP
let's
Digital and e-commerce. Great,
cool.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, this is Tom.
Hey, Tito, how's it going? Oh, hey, Tom, how's it going? This is Andrew from Persado. Hopefully I'm getting you a good time. Been really anticipating talking to you for a while now.
Where are you calling from?
So I'm calling from Persado. I've done extensive research on Mac Weldon. I know I'm catching you off on a bad time, but I have something that I really want to tell you. We have a great product, and I think it really suit your needs as the
Uh,
director of digital and e-commerce.
I'm really busy right now. I can't talk. Can you call me tomorrow?
Are you sure you're too busy? I know exactly
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yes, I am too busy.
So we're trying. I understand that you've been testing and the season's just over and you have a bunch of data. I know three things. You're sending 50 emails a month. You're averaging 70,000 per send. And I noticed that your email team specifically, is working with emojis. You're working with ABC testing, and also you're experimenting with different segments. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing some of those things. Okay.
So I understand that email is a really important aspect to Mac Weldon's revenue structure, and I understand that you guys are actively improving. I've looked at some of your recent data from last year compared to this year. I know you're really making efforts to improve. And as an e-commerce, you're responsible for what kind of metrics are coming onto your website, who's converting. You're really the liaison between multiple different departments. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course. Hey, I actually gotta go to a meeting. Can you call me tomorrow?
I can't. I'm really happy I got you on the phone. I just wanted to let you know what I'm doing. Is that all right if I just tell you exactly what I'm calling you about? It'll take a few seconds.
Click. Phone call over. Sorry, I just wanted to test something and see. I haven't done this with anybody else. It's not necessarily always like needed for you to continue to like insist on talking right now. Like if the person's actually super busy,
Okay.
it's okay. It's actually fine to say, hey, sure, that is fine. I'll call you tomorrow. In the meantime, I want to send you a brief email or something. Grab some info and call him back tomorrow. So
Okay.
I was being a little bit like purposely overly harsh on you.
Hmm.
Um, but it's also because I want to do multiple calls, right? It doesn't have to
Sure.
be one call. So that's just for the audience. So let's do it again. Just
Okay. Yeah.
it's the
Great.
next day, right? Imagine you said, sure, I'll call you tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So it's
And
it's the
you're
next
kind enough to pick up.
right, and like people will pick up the phone here and there, right? And if not, you'll send him various emails like, dude, like I called you, you told me to call you back, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. They're part of your sequence, like you'll
Okay.
add them on LinkedIn, right? Call me tomorrow, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and add you on LinkedIn right now, and then I'll call you tomorrow, right?
Sure.
And then or something like that. You try to tie him in some way.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, cool. Let's try
Let's
that.
try again.
Let's call me again. So I'm gonna pick up again. Ring, ring,
Okay.
ring. Hi, this is Tom.
Hey, Tom. It's Andrew again from yesterday. Thanks for finding some free time to talk with me today. I'm ready to answer any questions. I really wanted to share my platform.
So before we do that, actually, this should be another cold call. So we didn't agree on a time. You're again calling me out of the blue.
Okay.
So it's not like, yeah, call me at 3 p.m. Okay, sure, because
Uh,
that would then kind of be almost a meeting. So this is like me. I'm working. I'm checking my email. I'm like talking to marketing. Ring, ring, ring. My phone rings, right? And I'm like, who's calling? And I'm
mhm.
like,
Okay,
ring,
let's go
ring,
for it.
ring. Hello, this is Tom.
Hey, Tom. This is Andrew from Persado. I reached you at a bad time yesterday. Hopefully, is it a good time to speak now?
I have 2 minutes.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I've been preparing. I've been researching your company a lot, and I'm coming from Persado. We work with an AI platform that improves your email and your open rates and your conversions with artificial intelligence. I know that the holiday season, half of it's half over. So congratulations on that. How did it go for you?
It went really well. We've optimized a lot of our campaigns. They're working fantastic. We're actually already using some AI. So I think we're all set, man. I appreciate the call, though.
Yeah, do you mind telling me what you're working with right now?
Yeah, we're working with ABC.ai that is actually analyzing all our email response rates through A/B testing and uh, in time figuring out the delta of performance. And once it finds that one is statistically significantly better than the other, it picks that email for further emails, and then we just create a new one and so on. So kind of like just runs all the stats for us and just picks the winner much
Well,
faster than we could in house.
that's great. That's awesome to hear that you guys are actively seeking new ways to improve. So I've looked at some of your data from last season, and I noticed that you've quite a good increase in your performance and also your frequency. So I'm assuming your email division is growing as well as your company overall. So does that sound correct to you?
Yeah, we're doing all that. It's all going well, man. I said I only had 2 minutes, so I gotta hop off. What I don't
So
understand what.
So I know you guys send 50 campaigns per month, around 70,000 sends per campaign, and you guys have a lot of data that's coming in. You guys have opens, clicks, conversions, and all kinds of different texts that we can analyze with our platform. We can analyze emotions, we can analyze words and phrases that are affecting your subject lines, and as we all both know, subject lines are the first touch to ultimately a conversion. And currently, we're the only company on the market right now that's doing this full emotional analyses. Would you like to get a free emotional analysis on the words and phrases that are affecting your subject lines for the past year?
I mean, we're so busy right now that this is not something we're looking into. But can you send me an email about it?
It'll only take 40 minutes. I guarantee you. When we have people on trials, on average, 20 to 30% increase in lifts and conversion, or increase in lifts, or sorry, 20 to 30% increase in clicks. Is that something that you're not interested right now in?
In like open rates and like
Yes.
click through rates and
Oh, in open rates. So on average, when we have
okay.
people going through our trial, 20 to 30% open, lift in open rates.
Yeah, we look at open rates, but in a very vague manner. Like what we, ultimately care about is we're tracking our users, and it's all about like purchasing and so on. Like, of course, if they open our email, it's somewhat of a metric, but sometimes our best emails with the best open rates aren't necessarily converting as much revenue as some other emails. So I understand what you're saying. I see that how like emotions can affect those tempos, but like we're going way more in depth than you are right now. And yeah, I don't think we have a big necessity for this. Maybe in 2021.
So the thing is, I've actually analyzed your subject lines from the past year, right? Yeah, I see you sent about 150 subject lines, and of those, you've only been using 6 different emotions. There's 12 different emotions, and believe it or not, the 2 emotions that you've been using most frequently have actually negatively impacted your open rates. Are you aware of that?
As I mentioned, we don't really care about open rates. We're all about revenue. So
But
as long as we're A/B testing, and then the email, like, think of this, right? Let's say I send 2 emails. One gets 50% open rate, but 1% click through rate, while the other one gets 30% open rate and 20% click through rate. Like, which one do you think I prefer, right? So like the open rate doesn't matter to me. I'm giving you an extreme example, of course, but we're looking for click-through rates and then website engagement, and we're correlating our data between our email campaigns and our bounce rate on the website and things like that. So we've gone very in depth. As you've said, we're being very successful. I don't think that I need what do you have at the moment, but I appreciate the call, man. Feel free to reach back out next year.
all right. Well, I want to leave you at this. We both know, yeah, it's not a direct correlation between opens and click through rates. But if you have, I know you guys are already segmenting your audience, and if you want to increase your clicks or your conversions within those segments, it always makes sense to optimize your subject lines. You can never have the best subject line, and at the frequency that you're sending, I'm really not sure if you actually you have bandwidth among your team to be testing multivariate testing between each subject line sent every few days or so. But that's what we have integrated within our platform. We're the only ones that do it on the market, and we have direct integrations with your ESP. So it's really easy to try us out. We have people help you throughout the whole trial period, 2 weeks. Okay, 24 pretty cohesive. Pretty cohesive support throughout the whole experience. And if you're not seeing increase in your KPIs, then fine, don't use us. But we're not here to take your money. We're here to help you and actually increase your revenue with our product.
Okay, cool. I'm happy to take a look at this. Can we look at early January? I mean, it's Christmas coming, and I literally have no time to do this right now.
I totally understand. Yeah, let's get something on the books for January. How does January 2nd work? Or sorry, January 8th work for you?
Done. Good. Yeah, you got me. Cool stuff. So for the audience, here's what I want to do. Now that we're off the tension of the call, I do want to understand a little bit more about your product, because then we're going to switch it around and I'm going to try to pitch you. So Persado, from what I got, you guys do sentiment analysis of subject lines so far. Yeah. And what that's going to help me do is understand how my audience is reacting to it. And then it's going to help me understand what types of emotions are driving higher open rates.
Exactly. And we also have the world's largest database of marketing language out of anyone, billions of different key data points that we actually integrate into our platform. So not only are you learning your audience, but you also have a huge database to generate based on the purpose of your messaging.
Right. Okay, cool. That is interesting. You did mention a couple of things during the call that I want to make sure that you guys are able to do in a scalable way, right? Because one of the things, like if you're like, hey, I've been analyzing your company for 3 weeks and I know exactly all your subject lines over the past 150 subject lines you've sent, and I know the 70,000 emails you've sent and your open rates and all that, like, can you actually get that data pretty quickly, or does that take you a full day to do?
No, so if I'm going to blast 200 people, I definitely don't have the bandwidth to do that. But I can definitely get some rough estimates, and I get all my data prepared before I would do a call blitz. So I'd have something boom, boom, 2 or 3 different personalized things. So it looks like I actually came ready to talk.
Right. So help me understand here. What's on your like daily work basis? You know, how many calls are you making, and how much are you preparing for those?
So I want to be trying to make 200 calls a week. I use Outreach. That's where we met, and so I want to get 2 email touches, and they're not. Some of the calls are going to be cold, but I'll prioritize the people who just opened it, so I have an initial kind of conversation point. Go ahead and check out those emails I sent you. It highlights X, Y, and Z, but I was calling to make an introduction. And
right. So 200 emails, 200 calls a week. Every person you're calling, do they have an email that you've sent them before? You warm it up with an email?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Staying late hours.
Okay, yeah. So they have an email. How long does it take you to find that data? Like the number of emails I've sent as a company, how many emails how many subject lines I've tested? Is that pretty common data? Can you find it easily, or?
Yes. So
okay, so it's easy to find.
I spent hours pre-qualifying my accounts.
But that's a problem. So I exactly don't want that. Like if it's taking you more than 20 minutes to find this data.
It's not 20. It's not 20 minutes. It's we go to a website. We have a huge database of. You type in the domain of the company, you can find it in 1 or 2 minutes. So
okay, 1 or 2 minutes, and then essentially, if I know an account, like I could go and save it in Outreach as a custom field and say 70,000 emails.
Exactly.
Now I know they have 70,000 emails. I can use that repeatedly, right? Because something like a lot of people are saying, like, oh, you got to customize, understand your customer. Mm-hmm. The problem is, like, if I want to know how many children you have, how many like pets you have, what all the cities you've lived at, every job you've ever had, like, what you ate for lunch. Like, I might be able to find all that by stalking your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter every time I call you. But if I'm going to do that, there's no way I can make 50 or 80 or 100 or 150 calls a day, right? You would be at 10 calls a day, and then hopefully one person picks up, you're dead. You're never gonna scale it. It seems like you have enough data now to just go to a quick search, and in 1 minute you can find the data that you need for that account, and then prospect that account for the month, and then the data continues to be valid, right? What you ate for lunch is not valid for the whole month. How many emails you sent over the past year is valid for a full month. So the data stays pretty consistent. So here's what I'm gonna do. Sentiment analysis. I know how many emails you've sent. I know how many subject lines you've sent. Can I get your open rates and things like that? Like that sounds insane that I could find out about a company.
So it's with deviation of like about 3 or 4%. So what we're using is a company called eDataSource that you get. It's kind of like a Nielsen black box, which was for cable. You can do I think it's like millions of different sample mailboxes, and you can actually track how well these emails have been performing. You get the exact email subject lines they've been sending, so we can actually analyze those before they even get on a call with us. So yeah, we have great resources for prospecting and showing up with our tools ready.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it around. Now you're the director of e-commerce or VP of e-commerce or VP of digital, whatever. I'm going to try to call you and book a meeting. And then what's the ultimate thing I'm trying to do? So like you're just analyzing, what does your product actually do? Like analyze the subject lines and increase open rates? Like that is like the big benefit of it?
Well, we have multivariate testing integrated, so you can actually create up to 7 different 7 different subject lines using our database. You can also start tagging your emails once the machine learning starts learning your audience and your segments based on tagging. So
the AI will help me understand what's working, what's not, and the tags and
exactly.
All that.
So what we do start initially is just use our database. Whatever throw anything at the wall, see what sticks, and that's what the machine learning will actually take and implement into new subject line testing. So start putting in different parts of the successful subject line's DNA, plus new different things to test. You got to keep searching, and you actually got to pick characteristics on what your subject line is, what you're creating, and that also factors in and pulls pulls index data from our database, and that's our kind of our golden nugget of our suite. But then we also have a prospecting part of our suite where we can get sentiment analysis. So you can get your 15 different emotions of all your subject lines sent for the past year, your words and phrases that are affecting your open rates. So 1, 2, 3, 4 word phrases. So that's all of it. It's kind of lengthy, but I hope you understand what it is so far.
Yeah, I think I understand it well enough to be an SDR for a call, right?
Great.
So I'll try it out, especially because I'm going to connect. Andrew's going to pick up the phone for me. So let me get off the screen again. I'm not going to be looking at you, and yeah, we can try this out. So now the phone's going to ring, and you're going to pick up the phone. So ring.
Hey, hello.
Hello, Andrew. This is Michael Bohrt. I'm calling from Persado. Is that the right name of the company?
Yes.
Persado.
Mm-hmm.
Persado. I was just hoping to speak with you briefly. Do you have 2 minutes?
Yeah, I got 2 minutes. How's it going?
Thanks. I promise I will keep this brief. The reason of my call is that I've been analyzing some of your company data in regards to your email campaigns. I actually know you've sent over 70,000 emails and 50 different campaigns, testing about 150 different subject lines. And we are just doing some online presentations with specific e-commerce companies like yours, showing them how artificial intelligence can completely take their email campaigns to the next level. So I was just curious to hear, how are you currently A/B testing your campaigns or figuring out what is being most effective for your target market?
So we've been doing quite a bit. I got some analysts on our team. I know we have a few copywriters that are coming up with subject lines. That's about it. We're doing testing, some A/B testing with some subject lines here and there. But honestly, at the frequency we're going at, it's not really main priority right now.
No, I completely understand that, and that makes a lot of sense. What I hear a lot, and I'm talking constantly to e-commerce companies, is that they're seeing subject lines and open rates more as an art than a science. They have copywriters that are trying to come up with creative ideas, but the truth is that anything in this world is both an art and a science, and we're bringing the science part of it. So we have an artificial intelligence bot that's going to analyze all your subject lines. We have a sentiment analysis that can detect different sentiments and test up to 7 different subject lines with your target market, automatically run all these statistical analysis and figure out what's the delta between the performance of some of these, and immediately pick the winner as it happens, and then figure out what in that subject line is being effective according to sentiment analysis, and immediately help you pick another really good subject line. So it's a little bit advanced and it's hard to explain over the phone. I promise I would be brief. So what I was hoping to do is, it seems to me, especially with your email volume, that this would be a fantastic tool to test out. Would you have
Uh,
20 minutes on Friday
thing,
to take a look?
the thing is, I'm not sure. We're already using quite a bit of different stuff right now, and I'm not really sure how our new hires are going to be able to start using this efficiently. And we really just, it's the middle of the holiday season, right? So we won't really have the bandwidth to start learning new things like AI or MI or all this stuff. It just seems a little difficult right now.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. It's I know I'm catching you, right before the holiday season. We actually do that on purpose because we believe that if this is super easy to implement and it's kind of like a concierge service, you'll have somebody over the next 2 weeks that can handhold you through the process. And most of our clients are seeing an increase of conversion rates or increase of open rates of about 20%, with the corresponding click-through
Oh,
rates and so
really?
on. That's driving revenue tremendously. So I purposely reach out to you at this time. I really think you're going to see a tremendous performance increase. I can do this at any time. I'm so excited about this that I can do it at any time that you want. Tell me what day and time works for you next week, and I'll be on the phone with you for the 30 minutes to show you how this works.
How expensive is it? I mean, I understand it's all great and everything, but I just really would like to know before I get on a call. Is that all right to ask?
Yeah, of course. You can ask about price, and we have a tremendous variation depending on a lot of different factors. To be honest, I'm kind of new at the company. I got excited about the product, that's why I joined. But what we do is we're going to do a 2-week trial where it's going to be 100% free to do the trial. If you like it, we'll be happy to discuss pricing and explain how that would go. I can guarantee you a fantastic ROI. I mean, we're venture backed. We have a lot of companies using us. This is like the next best thing that's been in the market. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Tito, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. So let's get some time on the books maybe next week, and I'll see if I can gather up some team members to join.
cool. Thanks. You let me book that meeting.
No problem. You let me book my meeting, so.
Good. There we go. And of course, that was good. I appreciate the exercise there. And for the audience, what we're trying to do is make it as hard as it actually is with a prospect, right? So what I'd like you to do is analyze what do you think I did differently? Did you feel like I did anything better than you?
Yeah, definitely. So what I
Yeah.
noticed is you did not introduce, well, I guess you did introduce some of the personalized information that I could easily get. Um, uh, and so I think that would be somewhat of a hook. Someone would start listening to that. But I noticed you've also converted to a request, a close for the meeting, a lot sooner than I could have, um, and almost abruptly. So, and you also rebounded from that, saying, I'm new here. I'm really excited about the product. I want to get you talking with a specialist beforehand. You can learn all about it. Um, Also, I noticed the beginning part was a little bit different than what I did. I kind of started pitching right off the bat, and you kind of did the more of like it's not. I don't know. Did you say is it a good time to talk, or it'll only take 2 minutes, something like
Yeah.
that?
Good.
So that's what I noticed so far, and it was good. It was good. I felt almost coerced into saying yes. So
Right. And the idea is that you would feel a couple of things, right? So from your perspective as a prospect or as a person I'm calling, I want you to feel that I know what I'm talking about, that I'm a subject matter expert in emailing, A/B testing, and sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to feel like I know enough context about you to provide you value. I'm not just grabbing the phone and calling any company. So I might have mentioned we're working with e-commerce companies. Like, we don't just do this for everybody. It's e-commerce. You're an e-commerce company, right? And then I'm mentioning some data that you are able to search easily, like the number of, I know you've sent 70,000 emails, 50 campaigns, 150 subject lines, and I know your open rates. And then the person should feel like, oh my God, I'm talking to an expert who's calling me about a real, important thing that we've been looking at. He has a lot of data, and he knows something that I don't know, and he wants to show me that, right? And if you feel that way, you're likely to take a meeting for educational purposes, right? You're going to go, I'm not asking you to buy anything. You're going to go and see, what is it that we have out there that could benefit your company? And that's it. A couple of the techniques and methods, or tips and tricks, if you want to call it that, within the call is, I always start with the call. Depending on who you're calling, you got to understand. In this specific training, we're going to talk a little bit about the energy or the energy dynamics, right? So if somebody picks up the phone, actually no, I don't. I'm going to do energy dynamics at a different time. Let's talk about authority levels, right? So positioning yourself as an expert, right? So when I call you, if you're a VP, I don't want to say like, hey, Andrew, this is Tito calling from Persado. How you doing? Right? It's too bro, right?
Okay.
Bro vibe. You don't want to be a bro vibe with somebody who's handling tens of millions of dollars in e-commerce spending on advertising or whatever, right? So you actually want to throw yourself more to the banker side. You want to sound super professional, suit and tie. It's very Silicon Valley oriented not to have a suit and tie and to go to the office with like, whatever, jeans and a polo. But you want to sound like you have a suit and tie. So I say things such as like, I don't say, hi, this is Mike calling from Persado, or hey, this is Mike calling from Persado. I say, hi, Andrew. This is Michael Bohrt calling from Persado.
Personalized.
I was hoping to speak with you for 2 minutes, right? Or in some way, shape, or form where I'm saying my first and last name. And I can say, I was hoping to speak with you briefly. Do you have 2 minutes, right? I'm also asking for a little bit of time. I'm not saying, is this a good or a bad time? Right? If you say, is this a good time? Most people are like, no, it's not a good time. It's never a good time. If you say, is this a bad time? People are like, yeah, it's always a bad time. If you say, hey, how are you doing? The first thing that comes to my mind is like, do I even know you? Who are you? Right? But if you say, hey, I wanted to speak with you briefly. Do you have 2 minutes? You're like, oh, okay. Okay, you're somebody who I might not know, but who wants to speak with me. And then I might say something like, okay, who is this? Sorry. Or, hey, sure, what is this in regards to? And then what that gives you is a permission to continue your pitch. Right? What is this in regards to? Well, the next thing you were going to say either way, even if they said yes, was going to be, yeah, I'm calling from Persado because we do XYZ. So, yeah, who are you? Yeah, my name is Andrew. I'm calling from Persado. And the reason I call is that we are XYZ, or the reason I call is that I was analyzing your company's data for your email campaigns, and I saw X, Y, and Z, right? And immediately showing them some value after they've answered that. You're showing them value in a way where I feel taken care of, where I feel like you've done your research, right? In some companies like yours, it's really cool. You have enough data that you can do a lot of that. In other companies, I just gotta say some things that aren't necessarily personalized to the individual or to the company, but to the industry. So I can say, yeah, hey, we're talking to e-commerce companies in the San Francisco area, right? When you're dialing, at least you know their area code or you know where they're located, headquarters, about some personalized online webinars that we're doing about email open rates or whatever for e-commerce. And I was just hoping to hear a little bit from you. How are you currently testing that? That's another thing I do, right? I very quickly, I ask you for time. I give you a 1 or 2 liner pitch about what we do, and then I ask you a question because I want to start a conversation. This is not I want to book you. It's hey, just curious, how are you currently testing your email marketing campaigns? And then you will tell me something. You're like, that's interesting. How are we doing it? Okay, we have some copywriters, we have some data scientists, we have this, we have that, and you're giving me information. And what I'm gonna do is called cold calling jujitsu. So I'm gonna grab your information, right, that you've given me about your team and your open rates, and I'm gonna use that same power to throw you off and book you a meeting because I know you're an ideal customer profile for me. Right? Oh, it sounds great. So if you have data scientists and you have copywriters, that's telling me that you're constantly measuring and trying to improve your open rates. I am so glad I gave you a call.
Yeah, that's great. So you almost, it's what reminds me of you're trying to lead them into actually agreeing with you instead of having to sell them. Make them say yes, and then why would they say it? Like kind of lowers the chances of them saying no at the end because it would just kind of just counteract everything they're agreeing to in the first place. So
right, you're taking their words and helping out. Now there are going to be certain companies where this is not applicable. Right? Imagine you're a company that knows they have a competitor that always beats you. Like imagine your Dropbox and you're competing against, I'm biased here, I used to work for a company called Sharefile, but imagine your Dropbox and you know that the company that you're calling to is using Sharefile, and Sharefile has better integrations, better technology, better security, and that you're not going to be able to win. When you ask, hey, how are you currently, let's say, storing and sharing your files, and somebody's like, hey, we're using Sharefile, you'll be like, oh my God, well, anyways, I appreciate the time. This is not going to be a fit. Goodbye, right? So there are certain occasions where it might not be a good fit, and you want to ask that qualifying question while starting a conversation. In other cases, if let's say you're, again, Dropbox, and they can be using a variety of methods, like, oh no, we print every piece of paper and we put it in a drawer. Oh my God, right? Like, I'm so glad I gave you a call, right? But it can also be for Persado, like, hey, I just write all the subject lines myself. I just come up with random stuff. I Google best subject lines 2017 and I put them on my email marketing campaigns. You'd be like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna make you a millionaire with my data because it's intelligent.
Question on that part. How do you actually convince them to use something like Persado without insulting them? If they're in digital marketing and they're coming up with the subject lines and they think they're doing a good job, how are you going to question their sort of their ego on their proficiency?
Right. So I recently read this quote, which I love, which says, ego is about who's right. Truth is about what's right. Right? So you don't want to tell them your subject lines suck, right? If he says, again, let's say again, your Dropbox, you're calling, it's like, hey man, no, I'm just sending everything via PDFs with password protection, and you're like, holy shit, that sucks. That's like the worst thing I've heard in my life. You're gonna get hacked, that you're dead, your business is done. You think they're gonna talk to you? No way. They're gonna be like, no fucking way. But they're like, hey, I'm A/B testing. I'm coming up with ideas myself for my subject lines. You can say something like, hey, that's amazing. I hear very few VPs of marketing who are actually creative enough and ballsy enough to test their own subject lines and getting great results. So I'm so glad you're doing that. At the same time, what we've seen from our clients is that subject lines are both a science and an art. And you're doing all the art yourself and it's working. But I'm wondering if we can add a little bit more of science to your art and further help you improve your results. Now it seems like you're further enabling the guy rather than combating his strategy versus yours. It's like, no, we'll grab your strategy and we'll put ours on top, and then we're both performing better together. So yeah, other questions?
I had another question. Oh man, it totally blanked. I should have wrote it down. I guess. I remember. So what I get a lot is we already have someone doing this, and when we tell them that there is no one really on our level, there's no one with a huge database like this. There's no one with a emotional sentiment capabilities for your subject lines. how do you bounce back from that in a natural way where it doesn't sound like what I just said to you, which is just almost like this if you're not really super passionate about
Yeah,
subject lines, dealing with
yeah.
it on a daily basis.
Exactly. This is the most common objection. We're already doing that, right? And
Mhm.
they never are, and you know that, but they
Mhm.
don't know.
Exactly.
It's because you're talking. Here's the truth about sales, right? Especially technology sales. You're trying to sell them a technology that they don't have, yet because they don't have it and they've never heard of it, it's outside their realm of possibilities. So when you pitch them something, they cannot look outside the realm of possibilities. They will always look inside. And when they
Mhm.
look inside, if they believe they're somewhat of an innovative company, they think they're always doing it. So it is always the most common objection. The way you combat that is by actually asking, how are you currently doing X? That's the jujitsu I was talking about. Hey, John, I'm calling you from Persado. We specialize in, we're just hosting some online webinars. We specialize in artificial intelligence analysis of subject lines with sentiment testing. But I was just hoping to hear a little bit from you. How are you currently testing your subject lines? Are you doing this in-house with a data analyst and a marketing person or copywriter, or what's your process like? Right?
Mhm.
Now that he tells you how he's doing it, he can't say we're already doing that, right? Oh yeah, I have a marketing person, I have a data scientist. I am so glad I gave you a call, John. You're going to love this. This is gonna be amazing for you. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab your data scientist, you're gonna grab your copywriter, I'm gonna grab data science algorithms. We're going to save your data person about 70% of their time when it comes to analyzing the results,
Mhm.
and they can just decide where the data is pointing them at rather than having to recreate the data from scratch. And then your copywriter, we're going to save him a lot of time and effort and testing, because we can do sentiment analysis and enable them to understand what is the type of emotion we want to trigger in your customers for them to open that email, right? And if you're able to do that, then you're grabbing exactly their objection and saying that's not an objection. We're further taking it to the next level.
We're not like inconveniencing you. We're augmenting you basically.
Always.
And another thing is that they are. Uh, what was I thinking about? So they're always looking for a way to kind of get out of the situation. Always trying to like. So basically, you're saying it's just come back at them with like some jujitsu. I like that term. Just coming back and almost uh, repeating what they said and asking them. But what if they're just not really willing to open up and give you that kind of information right there, because they're talking to someone
Yeah.
who just kind of interrupted their work day. Maybe it's not a number one priority to them. Maybe it is. How would
Right.
okay? I'd shape
That's
it.
a good question. I can address that. And
Okay.
I think you've gone to a point here. This is much more advanced call training, right? So I'm not expecting, for those new SDRs that are watching this, I'm not expecting new SDRs to do this, but it seems like you're running into very advanced problems in your call calls rather than the basics, right? Hey, I'm not interested, whatever. So what you're telling me is, what if they're not wanting to share the information?
Mm-hmm.
We go back to authority, right? If I call you and you pick up the phone, and imagine you're a VP of digital, right? So you're not a 25-year-old or 30-year-old kid who's like running around trying to hustle and like do a job. You're a 50-year-old guy, suit and tie in the office. You're very analytical. You drop your kids off at school, go to work, get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I, 25-year-old guy, call you and I'm like, hey John, what's up? This is Mike. Yo, quick question, bro. How y'all measuring your marketing campaign? Like, you're never gonna share information with me, right? And I'm of course exaggerating. I'm trying to take things to the extremes so people get the point. What you want to do is do the opposite. You want to portray yourself as an expert. If you see TV commercials, every time there's a TV commercial for like some sort of medicine or medical thing, there's always people dressed up as doctors. Do you think they're actually hiring doctors for the commercials? No, they're too expensive. They hire some kids off of like out of the street, dress them up as doctors. Yeah, I am Dr. Johnson, and then like at the bottom is like star. Dr. Johnson might not be an actual doctor,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But it's the perception. So when you're on the phone, you don't see the person. You can't see if they're suit and tie. You can't see if they're 50-year-old or 40-year-old. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to thicken your voice.
Mm.
You're going to speak a little bit more slowly. And you're going to speak with more authority. And you're going to say your first and last name, right? So, hello, Andrew. This is Michael Bohrt. I'm calling from Persado. I was hoping to speak with you briefly. Do you have 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. How can I help you? Well, the reason of my call is that we've analyzed 70,000 emails that you've sent over the past 3 months in 50 different campaigns with about 150 subject lines. And we strongly believe that Persado could be an interesting tool to look at. But I before that, I wanted to ask you a question. How are you currently testing and ABC testing those emails? Seems like 150 subject lines in 50 campaigns to guarantee yourself the highest open rate and highest conversion rate. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing you kind of want to do that I went a little bit too deep just to make the point. But another thing you kind of want to do is make sure your excitement level, like your energy level, is similar or up to 10% more excited than they are, right? So you're generally going to get prospects at different energy levels. Like if somebody picks up the phone like, hello, this is John. You don't want to say like, hey, John, this is Andrew. I'm calling from Persado. I was just hoping to speak with you briefly, man. Do you have 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're going too fast, too
Mm-hmm.
much energy, right? So if he's like, hello, this is John. Used to be like, hello, John, this is Andrew. I'm calling from Persado. I was just hoping to speak with you briefly. Do you have 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? However, they're like, hey, this is John. How's it going? Right? You're like, hey, John, this is Andrew. I'm calling from Persado. And I was just really hoping to speak with you for about 2 or 3 minutes. Do you have 2 minutes now? Right? Just match that energy level. That the people feel more comfortable with people who are at their energy level
Mm-hmm.
and that display the authority and knowledge, then they're going to be able to share that. Some of these principles you can actually learn. This is not like me making stuff up. You can learn all these principles from Robert Cialdini. There's a really good book called Influence. My major in college was behavioral economics and decision science. So I've studied all about human decision making and how to nudge people in the right direction. And a lot of what I use today for sales techniques, methods, cold calling, and all that comes from that background in human decision making and psychology and how to get people to choose one thing over the other.
That's cool. Yeah, I really like working it out in the field. It's what I've noticed about what you're saying about tone. You got to match them for sure when you start out. But I noticed depending on how well you're doing, their energy levels will go up if you're doing a good job, go down if you're not doing a good job. So that's something I've noticed also through some calls.
Yeah, it's the engagement on the call, right? Which is interesting. Cool, man. Any other questions or anything else I can help you with? I want to stay on the call with you for a little bit more, but just for the audience, we can cut it short. Seems like my lights are going off too here. Woo.
No problem. Yeah, burning the midnight oil. No, thank you for everything. It was really great, and planning on doing a huge call blast in a couple of days, so it's perfect timing.
Cool. My lights are off, so that's it for the audience. I'll stop the recording now, and I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you. I did.